I remember when I pitched this idea to the partnership team at Meta, back in the days, Facebook, they told me like, look, it's not according to our standards, though like it's interesting concept, let's keep in touch. So it took us 3 years to become an official marketing partner of Meta.
Today, I sit down with Danil Saliukov, who is the founder and CEO of Insense. Today, we're going to be breaking down so many different topics, but just to summarize it, we're going to be covering how he scaled up his SaaS platform in the e-com niche way before it was popular. We're also going to be talking about the platform and what makes Insense different than every other UGC platform, as well as general Silicon Valley beef with the bank being shut down. I'm Nikita from aspectagency.com, and let's get into the podcast. Daniel, pleasure to have you on the Scaling E-commerce podcast. I know we've met almost a year ago when I just moved to Nashville, but we haven't had a chance to connect until a few weeks back. But welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah, and thanks so much for inviting me. And it was really great to meet you in Vegas.
Yeah. I think, because I moved about a week after the Hydra Council happened. So I know we met there and connected there. And then we also met up at Geek Out that was in Nashville as well last year. So I know I think you sponsored that event as well. Every time I listen to like a MarTech podcast, it's always like an Insense ad popping up. But I know you're a busy guy, so I wanted to get in as much topics as possible into this podcast. I guess the first one would be just like a quick one, is just right now in the current like SaaS industry, and Insense is like an e-com SaaS platform. The Silicon Valley Bank is pretty much upside down at this point and is shutting down, and California took over that bank. How has that affected Insense at all, or anything about the platform?
You know what? When we opened Insense and we were reaching out to Silicon Valley Bank, because all startup companies, like almost all companies, they trying to open the Silicon Valley Bank because it's friendly to startup community and so on. We got refused. And today I know that was the best luck of a company. No, we don't have. It didn't affect like at all. So we have and the Bank of America and Chase, the older ones, though, like they're stable and reliable. In my opinion, what I've been observed for the past 2 days, once the whole situation starting exploding, that is the best strategy, because we also have the account in Mercury, which is really great virtual bank, though like I wouldn't put all of my money, like, do not have like all of the eggs in one basket, because just like it's so worried. That's why I would say keep it like in the bank that you're gonna trust, one of the major ones, and then using the other banks as the operational. Though like Silicon Valley Bank is a different story. It's like 18th in the ranking, right?
Yes.
So it's so solid, right?
Still pretty big.
There. Yeah. And it's just like it's so unfortunate for many founders right now. I got, what is it, like 5 requests from our investors saying like, hey guys, are we doomed or not? And I was like, no, all fine. Though like some of the founders that I know, they are saying that they experience some of the problems.
Oh, geez.
I advise, never keep all of your money in one bank. You never know what's going on there. Never.
Yeah, I can only imagine what some of the founders, as well, like everyone that I see on Twitter, it's either memes about it, like news actually reporting on it, or some of the people that are getting affected by it just radio silent on Twitter. So I'm glad that nothing happened to you, and I'm glad that everything on the Insense side is safe. And I do wonder if this is going to just add on more collateral to like the whole like recession news happening, because it's like, oh wow, a huge bank was is basically upside down, and you can't really do anything about that. So I guess we'll see the catastrophe of it all next week and the weeks to come. But I'm just glad everything's okay with you. Now,
Thank you.
more on the operation side, just to like transition, like how did you even get into UGC and building this platform out just to begin with?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and it's not because of me. It's because of my brother. He's a co-founder of Insense.
Hmm.
He exited a couple of e-commerce shops that he was successfully running. Not like great exits, not like 8 figures or 9 figures, but like legit money. And then he ran his own growth boutique agency where he helped other entrepreneurs because his friends basically came to him and asking, "Hey, dude, you're really great in the customer acquisition. Can you help us?" Right, like paid advertising, all this stuff. And back in the days, 7, 8 years ago, he realized that UGC content, creator content, and influencer marketing is going to be like the top line thing that any advertiser should be considering in their mix, right? And he was mentioning that with his own team and mentioning everything through the Google spreadsheets and messengers because he couldn't find any solutions that is going to be tailored to his needs. How to transfer copyrights, how to pay to the creators, how to collect the payments, how to manage all of these creators, how to navigate. What is the best performance creators? What is the list of the best performance creators? All of that concerned him a lot, and that's why he came up with an idea. How about like building a platform and help other entrepreneurs in that space? That's basically he came to me with this idea, and I used to work in the company called Kiwi. It's listed on Nasdaq, solid fintech company, and I was in charge of 13% of net revenue. This public company, so super successful corporate career. But when he pitched me this idea, I was just like, okay, sold. But the only thing, like, if we're going to be building that, it's going to be global business. So that's how we started Insense.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy story here because like number one, like to be able to predict that 7, 8 years ago, I only got introduced to UGC and IGC like 2, 3 years ago right when like pandemic hit and you had everyone creating all these selfie style videos, but to be able to pioneer it in that way is just really crazy to see. And right now it's almost like a known thing, like, hey, like if you don't have UGC, like you're losing out on so much money on Facebook, on TikTok, etc. But
Or you're a genius. Yeah.
or you're a genius. So genius in this specific sense. And obviously there's a lot of a lot of time between then and now. But how are you guys able to, I guess, sell the initial idea to like your first partners or your first customers? Because that's my curiosity, is like, how were you able to, I guess, in the beginning start it up where it wasn't such a common idea to have this kind of creative?
That's a great question. And to be honest, like those 3 years, we were struggling because we were trying to pitch this idea to e-commerce businesses. And many of them, they're saying like, guys, like, well, why are you saying about videos, like mobile first videos? We don't need it. Static images, right?
Only.
And creators, they're not professionals. Say it doesn't look really solid. Moreover, I remember when I pitched this idea to the partnership team at Meta, back in the days, Facebook, they told me like, look, it's not according to our standards, though like it's interesting concept, let's keep in touch. So it took us 3 years to become an official marketing partner of Meta. And right now we are really building great relations with Meta because everything has changed over the course of last 3 years. I think the general accelerator, it's because of the two things. So pandemic, definitely it's accelerated like the ways how to work with the independent creative talent. That's number one. And secondly, it's because of the new platforms and new formats, and especially thankful to TikTok.
Yep.
TikTok has changed the entire landscape. But answer your question, so how we pitch that, basically I was the guy who was trying to sell, and with the e-commerce, to be honest, at the we put a lot of bets on that. We gained some of the customers who are friends with my brother or my friends, but then it didn't scale. That's why we started thinking about, okay, where's the money in influencer marketing and UGC and all the stuff, enterprise companies like L'Oreal or Uber. And we came there, we pitched that, and we signed up a few contracts. Though over the course of a couple of years, we realized that they don't need technology, they more need agency services, right? And how are you going to be building SaaS product but providing the just services, right? Just doesn't make sense. So that's why first 3 years it was a struggle to build the platform, though we were ready once the whole trend has changed and UGC became a major thing. Influencer whitelisting ads became a major things. We already built the fundamental things. That's why over the course of 3 years, we've been growing super fast. Every year, we're growing at least 3x.
Yeah, that's insane again to hear because it reminds me of so many different like third-party attribution tools that were out before iOS 14, like Hyros, Triple Whale, Northbeam. They're all out serving the market of like having true tracking data, but no one really took them seriously until Apple was like, hey, no more data for you guys. And then the valuation of those businesses immediately skyrocketed because of the importance of those tools. And the same thing here. It's like you guys were ahead of the curve, and now that trend actually picked up with what you guys are providing. There, you guys started to see the actual success and the momentum roll out, right?
Right. I think that that's what it has changed. Like, and that was the something that you don't expect, but it could dramatically change your entire business. And you're absolutely right. Like Triple Whale, one of the most exciting ventures out there, to be honest. I remember I was in Austin, like a month ago when they announced the Series B and getting money from Shopify, NFX, and a few other great venture firms, right? Like, what is the growth there? I mean, definitely the team is outstanding, but at the same time, without iOS 14, would it be the same?
Probably not.
Probably not. I'm still strong believer in the team who will execute, who will find other ways, though like maybe not that crazy and really outstanding growth would be possible without iOS 14. So same for us. I wouldn't call us like genius, like in a way that we predicted that UGC or influencer whitelisting is going to be the major things back in the days and so on. But I would call us visionary because we truly believe in that. And, like at the early days, I was starting thinking that we're stupid because why was still persisting about UGC, explaining, pitching to the investors, pitching to the clients, creators, and so on. But it just happened, and we're just lucky enough to be there. So same for companies like Triple Whale and Northbeam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's again, like you said, not geniuses. I guess just early to the game, and then the game just caught up with everything. Now, when you do work, I guess one big thing I did want to touch on is you have a huge overseas team, right? Managing, and helping out with a lot of the day-to-day operations. Can you tell me about how you guys were able to, like you mentioned, you're scaling 3x year over year, which is fantastic. How are you able to find quality talent that also is able to be onboarded very quickly and get to know the systems very quickly and, help with the growth of the business?
Yeah, right now we're almost 60 people across 16 countries. So we are a multicultural and multinational team. And we really appreciate, I'm calling ourselves the child of pandemic. That's the reason why it's accelerated to bring people from in other countries to the team. And then basically the way how we are sourcing the talent, 3 major things that I would advise. Number one, that's the key one. It's all about your culture fit, right? And the way how the major companies like Meta and Google resolve that back in the days, and still they're resolving, is the referral bonuses. And, if I know that Nikita is great and cultural fit, if he will recommend someone bringing to the team, most probably it's going to be cultural fit. So that's why, like, number one, definitely developing the internal system where you incentivize people to bring their people that they know and they maybe sometimes they are friends inside of their organization, because probably culture fit is the most important thing. You can hire a great professional, but if it's not culture fit, you're going to be doomed in the end of the day. That's number one. The second, and that's why once we're starting hiring people in Colombia or Mexico or Germany, right? So like other people starting bringing their own friends and talent, and that's how we're starting and still scaling the team. That's number one. The second one is definitely about talent or HR processes. So for that, we have dedicated team, and I know like some of the people, they don't want to hire any HR person until they're going to be like 100 people. Big mistake. First of all, your team, your company is all about people. We're a people first company, meaning that every time we're putting people in the first place, and then we're considering like other aspects of the things. But also HR people. First of all, you need one recruiter to bring who is going to be really strong and cover all of your needs. But then like it's going to be also raising the question about onboarding processes. And I think like starting with the recruitment and onboarding, that's the most crucial part for any business. And for the onboarding processes, you should have agenda. You should share this agenda and day one with the candidate who just joined to your team, and just to go through and ask like, maybe we're missing something. Maybe we should add some of the another sessions. So we have the both recording and live sessions coming like either from my side or from other people, just to dive in and explain about our industry, about the how the teams works, what is the job description. All of these questions are super important, and I would say the first 2-4 weeks are the most crucial for any person in terms of their performance down the road. If the onboarding sucks, then do not expect that this person will be will perform really great. So again, recruiting. Second thing is just to hire a person once you are getting closer to 20-30 people, and start with a recruiter. And the third one is building recruitment processes and onboarding processes. Then like, yes, definitely onboarding processes, education, other important things. But like this one will be fixed with your people managers if you have really good people managers at that time. But starting with the recruitment and onboarding, 100%.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd say number one, like I completely underestimated the amount of like the specific referrals from current employees. Like obviously to get the first one, it takes some time, but after you get past like 4 or 5, the referral system starts to build out on itself, and it's just so much easier to find quality people because they're already a part of your culture. And the thing is, when your employees refer out new employees, they're like, hey, look, you kind of have to get your shit together if you want to work here, because it's a very competitive environment, or it's a very cool environment, but you just have to put in the work. So they already know, like they explain the exact situation to the new hire before they even get onboarded. And when you mentioned the onboarding process has to be tight, I was kind of laughing in the background, not laughing, but just like thinking to myself, the amount of mistakes I made early on when I didn't have a good onboarding process. I didn't have any documents. It was just like on the go, on the fly. And how many times I had to unfortunately let go of employees because they didn't work out. Me then realizing, oh, I just didn't have good onboarding. Once that was fixed, we started to bring on quality employees.
Yeah, we did the same mistake. Like, to be honest, lesson learned. That's something. If it's your first business in that space, even though you have a successful corporate career, you cannot predict so many things when you're managing people, because all people are different, and you are different, I'm different, and the listeners of this podcast are different, right? So that's why every time just like a learning curve, and it's important to understand that in the end of the day, yes, you do expect business results from people, but in the end of the day, never forget that they're people with their own interest and why they're here, why they joined you, and why they're staying with you.
Absolutely. And I try to ask that every single time we hire on someone, just so that I personally know what are our selling points that we can use further down the road when we're, hiring for more employees. Because sometimes the selling points aren't always salary. It could be just really good culture, or it could be learning more about the specific skill sets. Like for us, it's like email marketing. It's like someone wants to learn email marketing as a skill, and that's why they want to join the team. Now, to transition onto what your guys' specialty is, which is obviously UGC, how do you see UGC play a part in just advertising as a whole in 2023? Because obviously it's been crushing it for most brands in 2021, or 2020, 21, and 22. But how is it going to be in 23?
It's a great question. So I think in 2020, when UGC became the thing, I would say, and early adopters starting scaling that, no one knew how it's going to be working in the end of the day. In 2021 and 2022, a lot of people they figure out, and a lot of service providers are there. So 2023, I would say what we've been observed and what we expect is that UGC also evolving. It's not anymore about creating one video from one creator. It's a wrong attitude. So you need to partner up with the creators or actors and producing different hooks, different bodies, different CTAs for the same video with the same person. And then mix them, doing also mashups between the different creators and test out. So it's more about how to tackle the UGC from the perspective of that producing more assets from the same person and from the one deal. So this one is definitely changing in 2023. So that's why if you're not doing UGC with the more assets coming from the one deal, so please do consider that. It's so important. Secondly, I wouldn't see that many brands, they need hundreds or thousands of UGC per month. So it doesn't make sense. So right now, 30, 50 videos, new assets coming every month, it's pretty much enough. And again, if you are producing with different hooks, bodies and CTAs, and putting a lot of editing efforts towards that, that's the second one. Though like UGC and influencer marketing is different. So that's why like when I'm saying UGC, it's only about videos without any publications, whitelisted ads and so on, because it's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say when I remember, because I used to manage Facebook ads way back in 2020 and 21 before we transitioned fully into email. And I think we were one of the first ones that were kind of like ahead of the curve, where we asked influencers to shoot like 10 minutes of like 5 different hooks, 5 different bodies, 5 different call to actions. And then we would edit around 25 different videos from one 10-minute long video, because you have all those different combinations or the way they say it or a specific shot. So with the help of that, like it seems like that is the general trend. As I'm talking to more and more media buyers, they're like, hey, we have to edit all these videos. So it's like 30 days before we can get something that is like raw footage to actually be able to test it. Or a longer time than like, okay, cool, we sent out the UGC, we got it, let's launch it as an ad, because a lot more editing, like you said, goes into it. Now, are you seeing like a general shift towards like more people signing up for it as like a full-time role? Like they're dedicated UGC actors now?
I think that UGC actors versus UGC creators, it's a good topic. I would call that for UGC actors, sometimes it's still lacking of the authenticity. And the reason why is simple. Actors, they are not authentic. They are just hiring to shoot the video and they never tried your product ever. With the creators, it's different. Mm-hmm. Though I'm not saying that actors are wrong method. I would say like both are great in case that both sides are really tested the product and they can share the feeling. Because what is happening on our platform that some of the creators, they're saying, okay, I tested the product and actually it doesn't feel, it doesn't good for me. So like I would love to cancel the deal. Sorry for that, but it's not something that I will be willing to share. right? And that's I think it's bad, right? You ship the product, you have some cost, but it's good because people are honest, and they are saying that, okay, I don't like it. It's a fair point, right? And then like those people who are still doing that, they are sharing because they like the product. So that's why like I think that there is a big thing about hiring the actors, but making sure that they are testing the products, making sure that they actually understand the products, why it's different. They're not here for 5 minutes or 10 minutes to just shoot the video and forget about this product forever, right? So this is one of the key important point that I would love to highlight. But to be honest, those UGC creators who have some skills in acting, maybe like in theater, maybe they are not, like acting in some movies yet, though they have some skills, that's the best ones because they testing the products and they know how to talk to the camera. And by the way, just this week, just this Monday, we kick off the Insense Creator Academy. It's absolutely free for Insense creators, those who join our community. And it's them, man. It's just like the quality, I was surprised. I'm the CEO, but I'm running the course right now, and the quality that my team delivered, it's just outstanding.
That's insane.
That they just dropping. It's up to 5 minutes videos per one theme. Yeah, the quality is just fascinating. The motion graphic, the whole what they put together, just like wow.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is the actors are even if I was sending out a product, I would want a genuine reaction. I wouldn't want something acted. And I think, I don't know if you saw this post on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, but Taylor Holiday from Common Thread was putting up a video of like UGC BS or something like that. And he brought up a good point where like people can smell like when you're faking it. Like when they're faking like the review of like, oh my God, this thing's a game changer. Oh my God, this thing's different. But it's like, yeah, you say that, but it's the same thing as like static ads. It's only going to get stale if it's not genuine, and people can sense that very easily. So that's the big differentiator between you guys versus like every other UGC platform that's out there.
It's also like the downside of this thing. So people could be genuine in what they're saying, not the quality is going to be sucks. And that's the part that we are working on really hard, just to making sure that we are Beijing creators in the right way. We are removing the bad actors from the platform, and just making sure that you have a great deal, because we are working on the scale. We have thousands of transactions per month. So that's why like we cannot speak about quality of any videos. So we are not an agency who is producing much less volume per month. Though like at the same time, what we are providing is that being authentic, and we're promoting that as much as we can. So saying that you really need to test the product. It's not about you receiving the package from whatsoever, and then like you never brew that, or you just brew the thing like for only recording the video. Just like doesn't make sense. Test the product. Have a couple of days. Okay, for some of the products you need to spend like months to see the results, but at least the texture of the cream or like whatever, like you need to experience. In that case, when you're saying something, you truly believe what you're saying. It's not about something that is well scripted.
Absolutely. And I think even with that genuineness that you mentioned, there are some things that could always be improved on, like you said, with that academy, helping them maybe figure out the right camera angles or the right way to, position this, like whatever they're going to say, or the right lighting, etc. So I think like bringing the rising tide lifts all ships. So if you can like raise everyone else's quality of standard on like the way they shoot, that genuine reaction is captured way better, and it serves as a much better ad for everyone using the platform or using it as an advertisement in platform. Now,
100%.
Just to close us off here, if someone's still living under a rock and not using Insense Pro, why should they use it, or why should they use UGC videos as advertisements?
Good question. I would say do not use Insense. if you're just starting your business and you never run any business and you never touch base with the creators and influencers, so we're not a good one for the beginners. So we are really good for the scaling businesses. So that's why like we prefer to work with businesses who are already in the 7 figures scale, at least like a mil in a annual sales. In that case, you're ready to scale, you're ready to rock and roll, and you're ready to hire 5, 10 creators per month, or maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe 100. But you're ready to rock and roll and using the all power of the Insense. That's number one. Secondly, we're a really good solution as the one-stop shop for the 3 major use cases. You need just content, UGC, nothing should be posted. The second one is influencer marketing, like a traditional organic posting. And then the third one is influencer whitelisting. If you need just UGC and a couple of videos per couple of months, then there are other good solutions like Bilo or other businesses that will be best fit for you rather than Insense.
Got it. Yeah, I think that's a really good disqualifier for sure. Like I never saw you guys as like the beginner solution. I think if anything, Bilo is the best one for that. But when you guys are actually trying to scale, hit up Daniel at Insense. With that said, where can people find you?
Twitter. So I'm trying to do my best. I came back to the platform a year ago, so trying to drop some bombs just to share my thoughts and things like that. I'm participating in the D2C Twitter community. So it's at Danil DANIL SALIUKOV, like Daniel Saliukov. That's me. Or LinkedIn, same Daniel Saliukov. So find me. Trying to do my best, dropping some bombs and helping the community to learn about scaling their businesses offshore, UGC, influencer marketing, SaaS businesses, e-commerce. That's my takes.
Give this guy a follow. We'll throw it in the description down below as well as on screen. So hit him up if you have any UGC needs. But with that being said, thank you, Daniel, for coming on the podcast, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much, Nikita.
Bye. Thanks again for joining us on the Scaling E-commerce podcast. If you enjoyed it or learned something new, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It really helps out with the algorithm. If you want email marketing tips delivered straight to your inbox on a weekly basis from yours truly, then check out the link below or in the show notes to subscribe and join my newsletter. If you're a D2C brand with at least 10,000 email subscribers and interested in starting a conversation to work together, then go to aspectagency.com and we'd love to chat with you. And if you want to stay up to date with anything email and SMS, just follow me on Twitter at Nikita Vakrushev or check the show notes for the link. With that said, I'm Nikita and I'll see you in the next one.